Today's task is clearing away junk. Let me show you what I mean. Now, the main issue I have is all this plastic behind me. That was one of those good ideas that wasn't so good. I garden organically, and so I avoid all chemicals. So spraying to get rid of all the weeds isn't an option. I've tried cardboard and layers of compost over that as a way to stop weeds in the past. And that does work if you're on a base of mainly grass and some not so pernicious weeds, or ones that you can gradually control as they break through. But when you're dealing with brambles, and my new discovery is rose bay willow herb, both of them are a nightmare. Even if you try and dig them out before putting the compost and the cardboard on top, they still find a way through. So I thought I'd buy some recycled plastic and spread it on top, and I hoped that would do the job. It turned out any little hole and the gaps between where the layers of the plastic were overlapping, they just broke through anyway. So I've now got a mess of brambles, rose bay willow herb and plastic all intermixed. And so yeah, that's going to be fun to clear. Right, what else do we have? Here we've got a whole load of pots that, again, they'll be handy at some point. I just haven't got around to finding a home for them yet. They're left over from when I had my own business a few years back. I'll go into that in another video sometime. For now, I need to keep moving so I can get started on clearing them. A pile of chopped wood, very handy, except I don't have a wood burner. I haven't had a wood burner for about 10 years, and I've had this wood for that long, and I just keep moving them from one space to the next. I have no idea why. They're even starting to rot, but yeah, I can't bear to throw them away. I'm starting to think I might have a little bit of a problem. Next to it, a lovely chair. I was thinking that once the polytunnel's built, we can put the chair in there and have a little seating place. For now, it's just collecting rainwater. So here we've got a layer of old polytunnel plastic that came when we bought the polytunnel. Yeah, we're not going to use it for the actual polytunnel itself, as we'll want to get new fresh plastic to cover that. But yeah, underneath that is a whole load of wood that I'm planning to build raised beds with. So it is useful, it's just now in the wrong place. Okay, carry on. Just down here, we've got a small polytunnel frame. Now, you might have heard me mention before about a polytunnel that we got from a garden centre that's closing down. This one I got on eBay about 10 years ago, and it's been sitting here since then. It's a lot smaller than the fancy posh one that we've got, but it'll still be good to use. Just need to figure out where to put it. And in the meantime, it's just sitting here. And now I'm going to have to move it. Here I've got a beehive. I went on a beekeeping course about 5 years ago, and I got the beehive. I baited it for bees. The bees never came. And yeah, so I've got a beehive, no bees. I was thinking of maybe buying in some I forgot what they're called. See, I've done the course so long ago, I've forgotten all the terminology, but you can buy in little baby bees. And yeah, I was planning to do that this spring, but yeah, I think it's too chaotic here at the moment, so it would be another thing to worry about. So next spring, keep an eye on the channel for that. And then I think the final thing that needs clearing are all these bags of, I don't even know what they are. Bits of old compost, bits of plants that I've shoved into bags thinking, oh, I'll have a compost bin at some point and I'll empty the bags into that. And yeah, that hasn't happened either. Oh, well. Right. Enough prevaricating, is that the word? Okay. Enough putting things off. I'm going to have to get started. Although it's nearly lunchtime. Maybe I'll start after lunch. Okay, well, I've moved a few bits of plastic. Haven't got much done. Had a bit of lunch, a little nap, and yeah, now I'm going to crack on. And the sun's out, so I'm feeling more positive. But I just wanted to show you how the beds are looking from underneath where I cleared the plastic. They've actually done really well at clearing the weeds. If I'd done a better job at overlapping more and had kept an eye on where there were holes and the weeds were breaking through, I think I'd have been okay. So probably the fault's mine. But yeah, anyway, better get on with clearing the rest of the junk. Behind me is eventually going to be a big pond. For now, it's just a hole in the ground. I've now finished clearing all the black plastic, I'm very pleased to say. Not a bad day's work. So all this area behind me was previously covered in the stuff. And I've laid it out behind me here, next to where the shed's going to go. And hopefully I'll get all the stuff moved onto there tomorrow. All of the, oh God, I've forgotten what I've got, junk, let's just call it junk. It's all going to be piled up there tomorrow, and hopefully I won't have to move it again. Fingers crossed. Okay, till tomorrow. So it's day 2 of the Great Junk Clearance Challenge. I still got a little bit of the plastic sheeting that I'm going to lay on top of the ones that I put down yesterday, just to make sure there are no gaps and no weeds getting through. So I'm going to do that first. And then the plan is to start sorting through all the other stuff and get as much of it as possible moved over there. There's some lovely little ferns here, and it would be a real shame to cover them over with black sheeting and kill them off. So I'm going to dig them up first, put them in a pot and rehome them somewhere else. Before I make a start on clearing the pots, just want to show you this. So, a few years ago, I had some hazel trees growing in pots, and I left them here and forgot about them. Now, they've grown through the pots into the ground and have turned into lovely big trees. Just need to figure out now what to do with them. I'm thinking I might get the digger to dig them up and cut the pots off them before replanting them somewhere else. We'll see. Okay, onto the pots. Before I get started, I'm going to clear away as many of the brambles as possible so I can see what pots are there and what I'm working with. So I have some very thick gloves to protect my hands, and somewhere I've got some secateurs. I'll go and find those and get started. Well, I found the secateurs, only to promptly break them. The screw came out of the middle and disappeared somewhere in the brambles, I think never to be found. So I'll try and think of an alternative now. So I found an old pair of secateurs. They're not very good because when you squeeze them shut, the spring bit doesn't function properly, so they don't come open again, but they'll do the job. But I've also got this sickle here, so I'm going to like hack away, and hopefully that might even clear it quicker than the secateurs would have. Now, the one thing I would say is if you're using a sickle, make sure to always have a stick, because it's very tempting otherwise to hold back whatever you're cutting with your hands. And yeah, that way accidents can happen, and I do speak from experience there. Okay, let's see how I get on. Comrade. Well, the sickle worked, and yeah, it's a lot clearer. Let's have a look. Okay, so a lot of it is junk, but when I look at it, there's a reason why I've kept it. So this wood here will be useful for raised beds, although it's starting to rot already. We got some guttering here and a downpipe, which eventually we want to fix up the barn next to the cottage, and so we'll need some guttering then, so makes sense to keep it. Okay, what else have we got? An old plastic barrel, cut in half. I found it actually washed up on the beach nearby, and for a while I had an apricot tree growing into it, and the apricot tree is now planted in front of the house. Sort of, I don't think you can see it, but just sort of there. I plan to keep this because I was thinking it would make a great hedgehog house. So I could put that over, put some twigs and stuff over the top to hide it, put a little bit of straw inside, and yeah, hedgehogs will be happy. Can't get rid of that. Down here, I've got loads of bin liners filled with old leaves, which I'm leaving to turn into leaf mold, which is really useful to have in the garden. So I can't be getting rid of those. Now this is great. No idea what it was originally, but it's galvanized metal and hollow inside. It would look great with a plant in the top. Going to keep that. Next to it I have an old basket. Again, that can be planted up with stuff. A rotten old chest. More things and plants. Oh, another chest. Around here we've got a little planter, a watering can, which actually leaks pretty badly, but again, it needs a plant in the top. Giant saucepan here, which will be perfect, maybe slightly buried into the ground with a miniature water lily in it. Here I've got lots of these fiberglass planters, which I must be honest, I'm not too keen on. But I figure if I sprayed them so they were all the same colour and matching, and found the right plants for them, put some holes in the bottom because I haven't got any of those, they could look quite nice. But that's why they're just here doing nothing at the moment, because yeah, like with all of these, I need to do something with them first before I can use them, and there's a lot going on at the moment. But so yeah, I'm going to find somewhere to store them. Well, I already know I'm going to move them over there. and store them, and hopefully it won't be another 5 years before I find them again. Well, that's the pots all cleared. Next up is the big pile of wood. This is quite cool. I found in with the other bits of wood this old piece which actually comes from the roof timbers on the old cottage behind me. So yeah, potentially a few hundred years old this. We've made good progress. All the wood is now stacked. All that remains is clearing whatever is under this clear plastic sheeting here. And a few old compost bags filled with leftover compost and some weeds that I shoved in there. Not really sure what I'm going to do with those, but I'll figure something out. Right, let's take back this clear plastic and see what we have. So that's revealed an awful lot of wood. And it'll come in really handy for building raised beds and the like. And actually it's in quite good condition. I was thinking it was going to be quite rotten, but the clear sheet has kept it fairly dry. Let's show you what I've got. This is quite cool. It's another piece of timber from the original cottage. You can just see the parts where it was cut there to fit around another beam or something. Got a little hole inside. Yeah. I thought we'd lost all of the old stuff when we did the build. Things just ended up getting dumped places and unfortunately burnt a lot of it. So yeah, I'm really pleased that we've got some left over, although this isn't in great condition. And as I'm holding it, I'm getting covered in red ants that are living underneath it. I better put it down. Loads of planks, which will be great for the edges of the raised beds. Some posts, which I can use to hold them together. And then down here, just some bits and bobs, scraps of wood that, yeah, maybe I'll use and maybe I won't. This is quite interesting though, but unfortunately it's in very poor condition. This was also from the old house. It was a little door. It's got these great hinges on it, but it's pretty much completely rotten. But I think the hinges can be saved and we might be able to use them for something. Well, that's a good chunk of the clearing done. It's going to take a little while, but I'll get there. The accumulation of junk does not end there though. At some point, I have to clear all of this. but I'm going to put that off for another day. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye for now.